Hello everybody, welcome back to the Border Corner. The things have picked up a little bit since the last video. I'm pleased to say, after all of the disturbance and noise that was coming from the building right next door, the birds have kind of bounced back quite well. So you can see next to me here, I've got a show cage hanging on a breeding cage. There's two youngsters in here. I'll give you a quick look at them. These are the first two guys that were hatched. And they were actually hatched by one of the birds that I bred last year, a self-green hen. I wanted to try and maximise the number of eggs that I got from my clear pairing. So I took the first two away from a clear hen and clear cockbird, as I had this other self-green hen going down just at the right time, so I swapped them over. And she did a great job, and she's raised these two. You can't see them too well with the show cage on, so I'll give you a quick look at them now. So these are from the best cock that I got from a good stud, with the best hen that I got from another good stud. And I think that the pairing of these is quite nice. So it's actually working out quite well, because not only have I got these two that you're looking at now, but we've also got these three down here. These are the three being reared by the five. And in this cage up here, that same hen and cock partnership has got another chick in here. So as things stand at the moment, that pairing has given me 6 youngsters. This little fella hatched on the 26th of April. He's in a nest of 4. Decided to do a bit of climbing. I don't know how he's got up on this nest material hopper, but there you go. Quite pleased with this little nest. Here's the mum. Let's just sort of focus out on that for us. Sorry folks, there we go. There's the mum. That's Albert. A lot of you will remember me talking about Albert. She's the first border canary I ever bred. And she's got a nest of 4. We've seen one's just gone back in the nest, actually gone back in the nest pan. And then I've got these other 2 little variegated, looks like a buff. Look at the eyebrows on this one. My wife absolutely loves this. So yeah, so that's a nice little nest of 4. One thing that I do really struggle with is the cleanliness and the hygiene. I like my birds to be clean as much as they can, so I'm forever cleaning out. And this nest was only swapped over last week. I think it was actually, was it today, Friday? This was done last Wednesday. So in less than a week it's filthy again. So first job for me today is clean the nest. And I'll be putting newspaper down. I'll be taking newspaper. There'll be no more bedding, wood chip bedding like this. Because I don't want to risk the chicks starting to pick that up rather than food. Just quickly, they jumped the nest yesterday, and I'm really lucky that I've got this one. It's already starting to eat the soft food out of the pot on its own. I've seen a couple of them do that actually, so that's good going. So yeah, so that's my last nest of chicks to jump. Let's just have another look at this little one up here. So as things stand in the border corner at the moment, I think I've got 15 chicks. So it's the 2 bred early, another single is 3, 2 cages of 4, 2 nests of 4 each is 11, another nest with 3 is 14, and a single chick is 15. Yeah, so out of those, so 15 of those, there's still 4 cages, 4 nests that I'm giving soft food to like every 4 hours or so. Depends on how quickly they're, to be honest. Some of them are eating the egg foods, soft food, a lot quicker than the others. So I just keep my eye on it. So one of the pairs of 4 chicks. I mean, they're going through it probably every 3.5 hours. So I'll just show you when I put it in to the cock and hen with these guys, they're straight on it really fast. The five that are sitting on the 3 clears, they're on it relatively quickly as well. And then I've got the single chick under another order. She's not really that bothered at the moment because the chick's so young. But yeah, so you can see, I mean, I'm filling up the egg drawers for these guys, and they're on it and getting it into them as quick as possible so they can get it to the chick. So let's watch that now. Hen, particularly in this case, she's down very quickly. She's usually, before I've even taken my hand away, she's down on it. And then the cockbird's there pretty quick as well. He joins in. Bit of scrapping. There we go, real good feed up. I can spend hours watching this, just beautiful, really nice to watch. Now let's see if we can see the 5 feeding the border chicks. So this is the cage where I've got a pair of fives that are bringing up 3 border chicks. It's been a bit weird with what's happened with these this week. As you can see, there's a bit of a size difference between the chick that's actually laying on top of the other 2. There's only 1 day's difference in those guys hatching. Hatch date was 4th of May. So what's that? Or is it today the 17th? So 13 days, just coming up 2 weeks old. But I've had a bit of an issue because the hen, obviously the 2 biggest birds there, when you look at them, are now as big as the hen of 5. And she's had a problem sitting on them. So yeah, so the chicks are as big as almost as big as the 5 hen now, and she can't cover them. So on Monday, excuse me, she walked off them and just started sitting on the perch. And in just those, like sitting on Monday, what's that? That's 4 days, 4 nights. I just felt the chicks were too vulnerable to be left on their own. And as I say, she wasn't going near them. She'd feed them, but then she wasn't. Just gonna close that a minute. And then I found that she wasn't, brooding them. And as it got to like pretty dark, she was still sat up on the perch. And when I came in, and as you know, I've got cameras in the bird room to help me. To keep an eye on them so I don't have to be in there all the time. So I came in and checked them and they were cold. So I brought them in. I've got one of those bath stroke weaning cages that you hang on the front, the wire cage ones. So I got one of those and put a nest pan in it, and I covered them up with some kitchen roll, and they stayed the night in the airing cupboard. And then obviously I was worried that when I brought them back, the following morning, I was concerned as to whether the hen would sit or not. Would feed them or not. And as soon as we put them back in the cage, she was straight onto the egg food, and she started feeding them straight away, and continued to do so throughout the day. But then the same thing happened in the evening. Got to about 8:30, and she stopped sitting on them, and when I felt the chicks, they were cold. So for the last 4 nights, I've been bringing them in at night and putting them in the airing cupboard, and then my wife Jane, she gets up earlier than me because the medication I take means I'm very slow in the morning. Jane's up a lot earlier than me, so Jane's been bringing the chicks and putting them back in the cage and back in the nest in the morning. And every morning the hen has jumped straight to the soft food and gone straight in and fed the chicks. So that's been obviously very good news. But we're at the stage now where when you pick the chick up in your hand, it's getting harder and harder to get your hand in and out of the cage to get the chicks out. So I think tonight we're going to have to chance it and see how they get on overnight. I'm going to put one of those tubular heaters that I've got, and I'm going to put that underneath the cage, and then I'm going to set that for probably about, I don't know, 50 Fahrenheit. I think that's going to be 12, 24, 54, but maybe 55 Fahrenheit. I'll set it on that, and then if it goes below that, then it'll kick in, and the warm air coming up will hopefully provide enough warmth for the chicks to survive. So, but let's have a quick look at this wife hen feeding them now. She does a really good job. And actually, for the most part, I do have the cock in with them as well. But every so often he just goes into this chiz, as you saw just now, and he's at the hen a lot. Here we go. And you can see a good idea on the size there between that chick and the fife hen. I mean, he's easily as big as her now. So, but yeah, so I'll break him off and put him in the other side for about half an hour. And then once he's settled down, I let him back in again. And then he's usually good as gold for a couple of hours again. And then if I see him starting that behaviour, it's because he's driving and he wants to go down and nest again. So I think he's driving her to do that. So yeah, so that's that nest of 3. I also just wanted to show you this hen. This is a hen that I bred last year. She's a heavily variegated hen. She's a buff bird. She looks quite yellow in the nest, but she is a buff bird. She did quite well for me last year on the show bench in the regional shows. And I've paired her up with that cockbird as well, my best cockbird. I say paired them up. I put him in, and they fought quite a lot. That went on for 3 or 4 days as she was building the nest, and I thought, I've got no chance here. She's already gone down on a nest of 4 clear eggs in her first round. So I thought the same thing was going to happen. I just thought she's not going to take the cockbird, nothing's going to happen. But then I had one day, I think it was on the 29th of April, he actually trod her twice in one day. And then after that, I've had nothing. She's not letting near her, which has been really frustrating. So I just assumed that all the eggs would be clear. Yesterday, she got off to have some food, and while she was off, I thought I'll just candle those eggs and see what it's looking like. And there's 4 full eggs. So I'm thinking it's a combination of his fertility and her fertility, but for 2 treads, and for her to have 4 full eggs, it's amazing. So they should be due in the next few days. So by the next video we should have some answers from her as well. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that about the fertility. Previously, I've not done very well, and I think the cockbirds, as we know, I mucked it up last year by giving the cockbirds calcium, which I now understand can lead to making them infertile. So that buggered up most of last year. But this year, he's doing really well. In fact, out of all the chicks I've shown you today, he's the father of all of them. There's one chick that I haven't shown you, which is a self-green, which is from a hen and cock partnership. The cock was the one that won the Scots National and won the Border Pairing Association last year. So he's a nice shaped bird. I got one chick off of them. That same partnership, she's sitting again now on actually 6 eggs she's sitting on. That's this hen, if I drop down, that's this hen down here. Yeah, so she's sitting on 6 eggs. And the cockbird trod her probably 4 or 5 times. This time I've gone with the violet cockbird. Sorry, the violet cockbird, the lightly variegated cockbird that I've got, yellow cockbird, with a little bit of variegation. I hope this doesn't make you seasick. I'll just spin the camera around. That's this guy over here. Yeah, so he's the father. Hopefully, if there's anything in these eggs down here, then he's the father. So I'm going to only set them on the 15th. So, you know, I've only just started with them. I wanted to mention this hen. She's a 3 parts dark. She's almost self-green, but she's 3 parts dark. She laid 4 eggs in her first round now. She's been notoriously a pain in the backside because she lays eggs. She lets the cock tread her. She lays eggs, but then she just won't sit them. She'll stay on for a couple of days and then she'll walk off. And it's really, really frustrating that she's doing that. So I've ended up this year, I thought I'm going to really concentrate. She's got good genes, same genes as my best cockbird. So I really wanted to get something from her. So I put him in, he trod her a few times, laid 4 eggs. And of those 4 eggs that she's laid, I've put 3 under a clear hen. And then when she was off the nest having a drink, I happened to be in the bed and I had a look in there, and there's 4 new eggs. So she's actually sitting on 4 eggs. Whether there's any sperm from the cockbird left inside or not, I don't know. But yeah, so she's actually laid 8 eggs in the space of 9, maybe 10 days, and it's the second hen this year that I've had do that. And I wonder whether it's because of, I don't know whether it's because they got knocked out of sync with all the building work that disrupted them halfway through preparation for that first round or what, I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so potentially there could be some fertile eggs here as well. But as I say, I don't know how long sperm stays active within a hen's body. So if anybody knows that, if you could just drop me a comment and send it to me, I'd be really grateful, be really interested to hear. So we'll see what happens with her. Despite all my best endeavours, unfortunately I've still got nothing from my self-blue hen. She's on a black ring. And I've got another hen, that other hen I was talking about before, she's on a black ring. So, you know, there is a potential that she could lay eggs. But we've had nothing. Last round she laid 3 eggs, I think it was, and they were all clear. And I have seen the cockbird tread her quite a few times, so I think it must just be her age. It's nothing to do with his fertility, obviously. He's fathered 15 chicks this year so far, so it must just be her age. But as you can see, she's built up a nice nest. I keep putting him in, running him in the cage, but I've started to slowly integrate a new product. So you know, last video I talked about Avian Supplies and Darren over at Avian Supplies, who's helping me get going with a new product called Unico Feed. It's from Happy Bird. It's similar to Unifeed for those of you that already know about Unifeed, but much cheaper. I've got to be really careful that I don't disrupt the feeding habits of those birds that are currently breeding, because I don't want to knock them back in any way, shape or form. So I've started to introduce it in the youngsters, and I've just got an egg food drawer in with the youngsters with the maintenance in. As you can see, it's just a yellow grainy mix, and the birds are slowly taking to it. All the fives have got it. What I've done with them is I've put their mixed canary in, and then I've put the Unico Feed maintenance on top of it. Obviously it's something that should be breeded, but I don't have any of that yet. But I'm going to get some of that if I can. Just sprinkle it on the top, and then the birds are having to burrow their way through that to get to the mixed canary. The 2 or 3 boarders that haven't started breeding yet, what I've done with those is the same thing, but they seem a little bit more reluctant to bury their way through the Unico Feed to get to the mixed canary. So I'm having to just keep turning the mix round so they can see their seed in there, and then they start picking up the maintenance, Unico maintenance, as they're getting their own mixed canary. So I'm doing it gradually. I also, with Starter, which is, Green Starter is a product that you can give with egg food, and you can use it exactly the same way as I use Paramorbide now, but I'm doing it separately. So it's green, and I mix that up. It's really easy to mix up, and I just put that in a separate drawer as well, so the birds can then choose whether they want to have a little taste of it or not. So slowly but surely, it's probably not the best time that I've decided to start changing feed over, but with my holiday coming up, obviously the whole reason that I've started early this year is the holiday. I want to try and get them onto a simple diet so that when my friend comes in to look after them for me when I'm on holiday, it's really straightforward. So, but yeah, I'll keep going with that, and I'll let you know the progress so you can see how we're getting on with it. Well, that's about it for this week, folks. I hope you've enjoyed the video and catching up with what's going on in the room. Obviously, I'm delighted that I've got 15 chicks at the moment. There's potential for some more yet. After the start, I didn't think I was going to get any, so I'm really chuffed that we've got some really good birds coming through. So I hope everybody's having a good breeding season. There's some really great videos out there, some really great channels as well that can really help the novices. I mean, I'm still a novice. I really enjoy Tweet Street, which is a relatively new channel as well, and I get a lot of enjoyment out of watching that and seeing how the lizards are doing. So keep that going. That's really a good channel to watch. If you haven't seen that, have a look out for that one, Tweet Street. For you guys that like Red Factors, there's the Red Factor Man and Philip's Bird Room, another couple of channels out there, and then obviously we all know what Matt Earl's got with his channel with the fives and the natives. So if you're novice thinking about bird keeping, there's quite a few video channels out there for you to go on and have a look at. So I'd encourage you to go and have a look at all of them. My channel's growing slowly. I'm up to 862 subscribers now. So if you do watch and you're not subscribed, give it a thought. It doesn't cost you anything. Hit subscribe, hit a like button, hit the alarm, and then you'll get notified of any new content that I get. So yeah, so that's it for this week. Thanks ever so much for watching. Keep on birding, and I'll see you in the next one.